Hello everyone. Today's topic is protecting the small voices, the heart of compassionate world. In the vast world, there are people who live quietly like dry leaves in a noisy forest. They don't have strength to speak up for themselves. They have no power to protect themselves, no position to be heard. They are the vulnerable, the elderly, the children, the poor, the abandoned, the sick, and the misunderstood. They are the ones who live on the margins, hidden from the spotlight of society. And as life rushes forward, how many of us are willing to slow down long enough to notice them? How many are willing to stop and listen to a soft, quiet cry from a forgotten soul? We are often swept away in a race for success, wealth, and recognition. In that race, the strong run faster, the loud speak louder, and those with status stand taller. But between the noise and motion of that race lies the silent dream where gentle souls dwell, souls who desperately need protection, and voices that quietly cry out to be heard. Why should we protect the vulnerable? The vulnerable are not of less value. They are not weak by nature, but made so by circumstance. A child cannot protect themselves from abuse. A single mother may endure exploitation at work for fear of losing her job and being unable to feed her children. A homeless person may be despised for not having a home, not because they choose it. Many others live in darkness, unable to speak up, unprotected, unloved, not because they lack worth, but because the world has not made space for their voice. If no one stands up for the vulnerable, then we are living in a cold and unjust world. The true strength of any society is not measured by the power of its leaders, but by the compassion it shows of its weakest members. When we protect the vulnerable, we preserve the humanity within ourselves. When we stand up for the small voices, we stop the world from going deaf to suffering. Small voices, big hearts. Some people don't speak much, but when they do, their words carry years of silent pain. A child bully at school may stay quiet, afraid of punishment. An elderly person may suffer in silence, not wanting to bother anyone. A person dealing with emotional trauma might not be able to express what they've gone through. These small voices may be faint, but within them lies an entire world longing for safety and dignity. Not everyone has the courage to speak up, and not everyone gets privilege of being heard. So if you have the ability to listen, open your heart. If you are in the position to speak on their behalf, use your voice. If you have the power to make a difference, begin by protecting someone near you whose voice is being ignored. Compassion doesn't require wealth. Helping the vulnerable doesn't require you to be rich or powerful. Sometimes all it takes is a kind look, a timely helping hand, a few gentle words, or a simple act of care. These small gestures can change someone's life. A man once shared that during a time he was unemployed and homeless, a stranger handed him a loaf of bread and asked, "Are you doing okay?" That one question made him feel like he still had value. He didn't give up, and later, when he was back on his feet, he dedicated his life to helping others who were homeless, just like he had been. Compassion is not something grand to be displayed. It is the quiet kindness repeated every day. It starts with a heart that feels another's pain and a spirit brave enough to act on it. You don't have to be a hero, just be decent. In fairy tales, heroes slay dragons and conquer evil, but in real life, heroes may just be people who speak a word of justice when someone is mistreated. A hero may be the one who offers their seat to an elderly person, who helps a friend being bullied, or who dare to say, "This isn't right," in the face of wrongdoing. You don't need to change the whole world, but just change a little word of one person already means everything. Keeping a tender heart in the cold age. We live in a time when people are more distracted, more distant, and less connected. Social media amplifies the loud and the glamorous, while soft and fragile voices are drowned out in a flood of meaningless noise. In such an age, to remain kind is an act of courage. Love isn't easy when people are afraid of being hurt, misunderstood, or taken advantage of. But if we stop loving, what's left to hold on to in our humanity? Be human. Don't let your heart turn to stone. Helping the vulnerable and stand up for the small voices isn't a grand gesture. It's the basic duty of being human. It is how we keep the world from becoming numb. It is how we remind each other that everyone matters and every voice deserves to be heard, that every life is worth protecting. Live so that when you leave a room, the vulnerable feel less alone. Walk through this life in such a way that the small ones feel protected just by your presence. And when you look at your own heart, may you find a space that still beats tenderly for the broken, the silent, and the unseen. Because one day it might be you or someone you love who becomes a small voice praying for someone else to listen.